Well, how good was that racing? Absolutely sensational.
As we prepare now for the first semi-final, the women's double scull. See the lane draw there with the Australians and Lithuanians moved across into lanes 1 and 2. The favoured lanes as we see them on the course, the way it looks like things are going today. And we see Aldous and Keogh just going through a few stretching movements. They prepare to go in lane 1. The Lithuanian double, just taking a few deep breaths, getting the boat lined up and straight. The crew from the Netherlands here, desperate to make a final. We've seen lots of posters all around Amsterdam with girls sculling on them. These two will want to be the finalists and be here for the big race on Sunday. They'll be challenged hard by the New Zealanders here. They're going to be also out in lane 4 in the centre of the course. The Ukrainians here, fantastic athletes, out in lane 5. And then the Irish here in lane 6, taking a look down that course, looking at the calm waters that they're sitting in now, able to get the boats aligned and straight and ready. So they await the call over.
Just looking at the Dutch double there. A lot of pressure on Nicole Burkers, as we see her there, but well, the young Lithuanian Milda Vakukaite, what an impression she's made on the world this year.
Australia
came off the under-23s where she won that single sculls.
The Netherlands
just this year. Multi-talented Lithuanian sculler.
Ukraine, Ireland. Attention.
Held them for a long time there, didn't he?
Yes.
He did hold them for a while, didn't he? The New Zealanders again, we see just slightly slow out of the blocks. Saw their men's double going in a smooth, steady pace over the course. I hope this Kiwi double isn't going to allow themselves to get dropped as well.
And really blasting out there in the early stage was the Lithuanian double. My apologies, along with the Dutch and the Ukrainians over on this side. So they know that they want to be getting the advantage over the Australians, who have a very good mid-race rhythm and mid-race pace. That's Sally Keogh and Olympia Oldesy. So it will be a very tight battle, both heat winners, the Lithuanians and the Australians.
Yeah, and of course this New Zealand double coached and trained by Dick Tonks, and we know what that means in terms of their training program. Well, they will have the physiology to come back on these crews, but in a tailwind you don't want to have that distance between.
It's a lot to give away that the New Zealanders have let go there, as the rest of the field here fall fairly much in line. As we have a look at the Ukrainians here, looking very strong, getting the boat moving towards the 500.
And they weren't all that quick out of the start, but I think it's quite characteristic of the Australian boat over in lane 1. But they have pulled back the rest of the field now, which I'd start to expect. Second and third 500s really being their domain. We can see them starting to just edge into the lead now over the Lithuanians, so not blasting out, looking very calm. But the
look
Kiwis...
at the steering. Now that is unusual, isn't it? Right over the buoys, Sarah.
Yeah, the Kiwis crossing over the lane, that is unusual. Like you say, Martin, sometimes we see that in the pair. It's a little bit more difficult with one blade each, but not all that typical in the double scull to see.
The umpire's just across doing a bit of steering. Just outside world record pace, which was 136.75, set by the Kiwis, the Ever Swindells, back in Seville 2002. The Australians went through in 137.
And we can see there now to half a length lead. It's Sally Keogh stroking the boat, only 171 centimetres as compared to her bow woman Olympia Oldesy, who is 183 centimetres. So quite a difference there, but very well matched. I spoke to Sally and she said that despite their physical difference in size, that they do rode very well together, and quite a well matched team there. You wouldn't really pick that height difference from looking at the boat, and a very relaxed style there, particularly from Sally Keogh, which is so characteristic of her sculling.
I wouldn't have picked them to have a lead on the Lithuanians actually at 750. I hadn't seen that coming. I know the Australians had a fantastic season in Europe.
Well, it's interesting the way they've gone out, keeping that higher stroke rate. Both those crews up at 37, while everyone else seems to have settled a fair bit lower and that seems to be working for them in these conditions.
Of course, the Dutch are, well, we see there, let's talk about the Lithuanians and the Australians. The split screen shot showing us the top of the picture. The Australians there slightly in the lead ahead of the Lithuanians, and the young sculler Milda Vlakicaite on the left of his shot, and her partner Donata Vistatate. And there's the Dutch double head-to-head with the Ukrainians, and of course Anastasia Kozakova on the left of your picture in the blue and yellow, Olympic champion in the women's quads, and the Kiwis in the middle coming through, the women in black.
As they come through the 1,000, yeah, this New Zealand boat sorted out their steering, that they had a slow first 500, just edging their way through. And I think that's an ominous move for Ukraine and also for the Dutch there.
But this is incredible as they come to the 1,100 metre mark. The Australians are almost a length over the Lithuanians at this point. A great performance from them. Interestingly, Olympia Oldesy, born in 1992, she was born, I think, on the opening ceremony of the Barcelona Olympics, which was on the 25th of July. Olympia's birthday on the 26th. And, of course, Greg, sitting here to my left, won his Olympic gold medal on August 2 at those games. So a little
nice
bit of trivia
stats,
there
Sarah.
for you.
Here's another one for you, which will put a smile on your face. The Aussies are now under world record pace. They were 3:16.28 through the K, and the New Zealanders went through in 3:16.97. So we're now looking at a crew going under world's best time, and we'll see if they can maintain that pace down the course. Why not?
And they're doing exactly what we saw the Croatians, really, aren't they? That it probably looks clear they're going to qualify for the final, but they've only got one thing in their mind now, which is staying out in front and then getting there as quickly as they can, which could be a world best time.
I just wonder if these conditions suit the Lithuanians so much. I do expect them to move back on the Australians, but sometimes, you know, a little bit of a holding breeze suits the technique.
And the Dutch now just hanging on because the Kiwis have made that move as we thought. Looking in on the Australians now coming through the 1,500. No let up at all as they head down here and look to see how quickly they can get to the finish line. They've shaken off the Lithuanians. Lithuanians are definitely second. It's all about for the Kiwis, whether they're going to come through or whether the Dutch could possibly mount a charge to make it through to the final.
And to be honest, unlike you, Martin, I think I did expect to see this. I rode with Sally in the quad in 2011 and in the women's 8 in 2012. She is a sculler despite having been to 2 Olympics in the women's 8. She's a former junior world champion in both the single and the double scull. She's been a member of the Australian team for almost 12 years now, I think, and she's just such a confidence athlete. She loves these conditions and she's absolutely taking hold of it. She wants to make her mark in this race and in this year back after a year off, and I'm certainly not surprised to see her doing what she is currently doing after winning World Cup 2 in Aikbilet.
Lithuanians edging back, but the Australians went through 1,500 metres 2 seconds under world's best time pace, so we are going to see another world's best time set here. The time to look out for is 6:38.78. 6:38.78, that record set 12 years ago by the New Zealanders Eva Swindell sisters.
This is where it's at in terms of the front of the race, in terms of that world best time. Look at the Australian double moving very well together, appreciated by the crowd. Lithuania definitely in second, I think. New Zealand definitely in third. Will they get there? 6:38 we're looking for.
The Australians come down to the line, about 100 metres to go with a clear length lead over the Lithuanians, and what a fight back from the Kiwis. They're really starting to bring the Lithuanians and the Australians in. We saw that trademark finish because they were so far down, and to come back in within a length now of the Lithuanians, a very strong performance from them to make the A final.
And I think we'll get confirmation shortly. I mean, the TV clock gave us 6:37 as the Australians crossed the line. We can see them at the top of your screen, very pleased with themselves. There's the camera following the water level. Yeah.
Well, best time to Sally Keogh and Olympia Oldesy.
Well, they will take that away for the final, and of course, 3 of those crews, the Lithuanians and the New Zealanders, will join the Australians, and we'll have another chance. We do expect very fast conditions again for the final, so I'm sure that will please the Australians with this fast tail breeze, the breeze from the west on this Bosman course.
You see the very nice blade work here from the Australian crew. Just so well together, doing a lovely pick-up of the water and then moving the boat past. And that's how you break the world record in these fast conditions. The Australians will have time now just to go and warm down beside the course. You see confirmation of their time there. 6:37.31. A new world best by just over a second
So what's the
and a
betting?
half ahead of Lithuania and New Zealand.
What's the betting that the